All right. Al, what's going on,
Hey,
man?
hey,
Super
hey,
excited
Brandon.
to obviously spend a few minutes here speaking with you. As we were just talking, I mean, obviously during these times, us as business owners and just about every business out there are being affected by what's going on. And as we touched on before, health and safety is definitely top priority, and we understand that that is it. However, I think sharing stories and talking, just having real conversations about how it's affecting all of us may be able to help others. Maybe pick up on some things that you're doing or you're seeing out there in the marketplace. So I just want to take a few minutes, obviously, to talk about that, talk about what's going on in your business right now, maybe what you're doing,
Okay.
and helping others to do. But before we do that, I would love to open it up here, give you a little 60-second. There's nobody better than you at this. So hopefully I didn't put you on the spot, but open it up and have you give a little snapshot of what you got going on and what your business is all about. And then we can kind of hop into some stuff from there.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, we're Sandler Training by Simon Inc. Sandler Training is a worldwide organization, about 260 locations all around the world, and what we own is one of those in Georgia, and we do sales training and sales management training and coaching. So typically our clients are looking to us to help them, build solid pipelines and the skills to keep those going, and then the closing of those deals, making sure that they're closing their opportunities on a regular basis and a higher percentage, and then making sure that they're doing that at high profit margins. All of those things these days are a little bit different with the pandemic. And this is actually the third pandemic, or not, no, it's the first pandemic, but the third crisis that I have personally been through as a business owner. After 24 years as a corporate sales guy, I left the corporate world in 2001 to start this company to do sales training and coaching. And the day after we opened our doors, 9/11 happened. And then of course 2008, the recession and more crises with business. And so we got through that. We got through both of those, helped our clients through both of those. And now here we are, the third crisis in the 18 plus years of our company being in business. A little bit different, obviously, like you said, health and safety, very much on everybody's mind, very, very, very paramount. But on the other hand, the folks that we work with and ourselves also, we have to be productive. We have to be effective. We have to bring in revenue. We have to, produce.
Yep. And so, you kind of skated over the day you started and opened up the next day. So that would have been September 10th.
Yeah,
Al was Sherry, and Sherry is Al's wife. I've had the opportunity to know them and couldn't be more genuinely nice and finer people out there. So I do want to throw that out there. But so September 10th, 2001.
Yeah.
Up, and then you wake up on 9/11, obviously, and that's going on. So if you don't mind, like if you go back to that spot, man, like what was going on in your mind at that point?
Yeah, well, probably panic. I remember having some pretty pointed conversations with God about that. I was like, really? And then I felt guilty because I was so selfishly thinking about my own ability to thrive. And then when people were losing loved ones anyway, so I felt panic, I felt guilt, I felt anger. And I had all these, because we just plopped down most of our life savings to buy a business. And all of a sudden, nobody wants to do business, and it was frantic time. Yeah, it was kind of like today. Like today in terms of emotion.
Well, and the one thing that I know is over there, because right then, I mean, how the panicking and anxiety of just opening up your very first business coming from the corporate world in itself is 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 a stress.
Oh yeah, no salary, no benefits, right? I mean,
Yeah, and then you get hit
and
with
then this
that.
happens. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're all not sure what's going to happen at 9/11. I mean, I was in a little bit of different scenario, but I was had just started college at that point. I was a freshman, I remember, and I thought that we were going to be drafted and everything was going to be changed. Like that was the conversation I was having. But now having a business and all that, like I can't imagine after the first day um, that taking place. But how is it different now, going through a few different pandemics? How do you look at things now? Like with this going on, are you able to process it a lot easier because you've
oh
been?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So and then the recession in 2008 and following years the same way, and that of course lasted several years for us and a lot of our clients. But um, it's when you've been through something like that and you have a different perspective, I think, than for those of your listeners who this is the first time that they were going through something like this. And for us, it was a matter of, okay, this is happening. All right, it's bad. But it doesn't have to be catastrophic for business. It does not have to be. And so it's really a matter of taking stock, resetting your goals, resetting your action plans, and then executing. It's waking up in the morning, getting up, stretch, have your quiet time, take a shower, get dressed for work, and then go to work. But go to work means you walk, maybe to the room next door or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sitting in my dining room. It's been my office for the last few weeks. But but you go to work. You get dressed and you go to work and you do what you do. And now, us and most of our clients, everything is now electronic. Using Zoom, using LinkedIn a bunch, and phone calls, because we can't do live networking. We can't get on airplanes and be on the highways as much. We can't have face-to-face meetings with people. So all the behaviors changed. But before all that changes, you got to get your mindset right. You got to realize, okay, I can make this an opportunity and make the best of it and go after it, or I can sit in my spare bedroom in my pajamas and suck my thumb. I mean, you got to make a decision. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And so our job as a trusted advisor to our clients is to help them navigate those changes in mindset, and then help them reset their goals, plans, and actions, and then help them to execute using the different tools, technology, phone. Phone and LinkedIn, those are not new tools. Even Zoom or FaceTime or Google Hangouts Meet or Microsoft Teams. I mean, none of those are new tools, but they're just being used well now, very, very well, and it's great. I think it's a good way. I can see your smiling face now. A lot of times people use video technology as though it were a audio conference call. They don't turn on their cameras. Well, when that happens, then you lose so much of the eye contact, the facial expressions, the change in facial expressions, and you lose so much of the communicated message. So, we're telling our clients to gently urge your customers and your prospects to turn on their cameras. If you get pushback, don't push it, but urge them to turn on their cameras, because that eye contact and facial expression is so important these days, because it's the only way you're going to get it.
for sure. And obviously, I've been a part of Sandler. Had the opportunity to work with you for a period of time as well. And Sandler speaks for itself with its brand. I mean, it is by far, and I've been through a lot of sales trainings, it's by far the most practical sales training I have ever been in. And
Cool.
so I know you guys are staying on top of adapting and really communicating that to your clients. If whenever you're talking about the turn on the cameras and urging them, is there a certain message that y'all have come up together? Maybe it may be something you've worked with your students on and they've brought it to you is there a certain message or a certain way you present that, that little nudge of turning on the camera for your clients? Is there something you're sending out in the calendar invite of, hey, make sure to be prepared to be on camera? Like, is there
Yeah.
anything there, or just
Yeah.
curious?
Yeah. So, the phrase, why don't we hop on a call, is a phrase that
Yeah.
we're all using a lot, on the phone or in like a LinkedIn message or a Facebook message or or an email or a text. Just say, hey, why don't we hop on a call? And then when they agree, and you send the invite, whether it's Zoom or whatever tool you're using, you come on with your own camera on, and then say, hey, Brandon, you may not be comfortable sharing your camera. That's cool. Because a lot of folks we've been talking to lately really want to get more face-to-face with people because they miss it. So if you're comfortable turning your camera on, that's cool. But if not, that's cool too. And that's all you do. That's all you say. You don't have to worry about it. Some
Yeah.
will, some
So, I mean,
won't.
it's just
Yeah.
a little subtle, hey, everybody we're talking is wanting to get on camera and be able to meet face to face, at least virtually. And that's just kind of the
Yeah.
little ask
Yeah.
to
And it's
make it,
true. It is
yeah.
true. People are already, what 3 weeks into this shelter at home or whatever, isolation, some people call it. But more and more people are craving that face to face. They really are. And that's only going to get more prevalent as time goes on.
So the importance, and I may be getting into your secrets, but to have someone on the camera while you're talking a lot to your clients and your partners about turning on that camera, what is the importance of that in your opinion, having that camera on as opposed to just talking to the little black box that sits up there with the name on it?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things about it. One is just the communicated message. Psychologists call it the communications pie. When you're face to face with someone, over half of the communicated message is in that, the visual clues, the body language, the facial expressions, and the change in those things. And only about 7% are the actual words. And when you're on the phone, of course, you don't have that, that whole half of the communicated message that has to do with body language and facial expressions and changing those things. The other part of it is it's a whole lot harder for the person or persons you're meeting with to multitask if their camera's on their face. It's a lot harder for them to be checking email or whatever. And there's other things that happen too. Like earlier this week, I was on a Zoom call with a client, and we were having a nice conversation. He was set up in his garage. That was his home office, his garage. And so I could see, behind him, I could see the garage door. And so we're talking, and all of a sudden there's this big old loud noise, and his garage door starts going up. And in walks a couple of his children, and they're laughing and shouting, and it was cool. It was just, it was a temporary interruption to our conversation, but it was real people in a pandemic and enjoying the moment. And there's something really cool about that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and you're right. I mean, that's one of the things is that this is forcing us to be okay without perfection.
Exactly.
The fact that we're all just you are in your dining room. I'm in a room where I've got this because I wanted to be able to stand. I mean, I'm going to send a video or a photo out later because I got a stool on top of a counter with a little light, and I mean it's literally just makeshift. Like this is what we're doing right now, but that's to keep some normalcy and just keep the conversations going. I think the biggest thing too is people understanding that you can close deals through virtual meetings. And, I'm fortunately, we have a lot of clients throughout the country, and not a lot of them are local. And probably 95% of our work and deals and communications and negotiations and all that, obviously a lot that I've learned from you and Sandler Training over the years, but is is through this type of communication. And this is how I have those conversations. And
Yeah.
so it is possible. And it is actually, you'll start to see that it is extremely efficient and can be valuable.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that y'all are doing that. And before we hop off, to kind of keep this as condensed as possible, is there anything that word of wisdom from you and what you've been through and all the other pandemics that you've been through? Obviously, to be able to do this wasn't available in whenever 9/11 happened, or
That's
even
right.
2008 to a certain degree. I mean, technology was kind of coming out, but this wasn't something we could use even then.
True.
Now we do have this, but it is a completely different issue that we're dealing with. And
Yeah.
do you have anything that you would want to share, or to everybody out there, other
Yeah.
business owners, everybody that's having that stress and anxiety that you've had as a business owner in multiple different scenarios? Is there anything out there that you want to share or can share?
Yes. Three words. All right. Three
Yep.
words. Positiveness, empathy, generosity. Okay. Positiveness, empathy, generosity. This time people are uncertain. They have fear. They have anxiety. We call it the FUD factor. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The FUD factor. There's a lot of panic. People are just worried, and so we need the voice of positiveness. We need to be that voice of calm and encouragement to our customers, our teams, and everybody we come in contact with in any way. It just would be good to be that positive influence on people, and also helps to calm our own fears when we're taking that mindset. So positivity. The second one being empathy. Start every conversation with empathy. Every single one, whether it's electronic or whether it's phone or whether it's face-to-face through technology. Start it with empathy. And like in a text or an email, I'm typically starting mine with, "Hey, Brandon, I hope you and your family and your loved ones, and, all your team, I hope everybody is healthy and safe. This is a weird time, and I've been thinking about you." So that's a couple of pretty short sentences, but it really goes a long way. Empathy to start, and then go into more of the business stuff if you want to. But even then, go into just as much business as the other person wants to talk about. But start everything with empathy. Everything. And then the third one, generosity. Find ways to give. We're giving away free resources these days. We're giving away our time. We're not charging for a lot of things now. For prospects that haven't bought yet, we're finding ways to be creative in terms of getting them started, and maybe backloading the investment. So because, probably their revenues are down right now. And so maybe they don't have the money to spend with us, but they still need us. So find ways to be creative, be generous with people, with all kinds of people, best you can. So those are my three words for this time: is positiveness, empathy, generosity.
Love that. Love that. And love the you touching on the generosity piece, and what was really more within that of what you were talking about, of finding ways to get creative in order to, because it doesn't mean that you have to stop, or that you still can't get people started in your program or get somebody in. You may need to get a little more creative for it to work, but you can still conduct business, and it's a win-win. And that's the biggest thing. And that's where I think a lot of opportunity is for a lot of businesses, is that generosity piece. Because you're going to be judged, and I say that, going to be judged, but you're going to be looked at whenever we get through all of this, because we're all going to get through it. People are going to remember what you were like during that time. And I feel like during this, there's excuses out there. There's, like as far as people being forgiving and understanding that this is a tough time, and a lot of us may not make it out. I don't think that's going to be the case, but people are expecting that.
Yes.
So with that being the case, if you can be positive, if you can be empathetic, if you can be generous during this time, you can really come out on the other end, just with
Absolutely.
a whole different light shining on you and your brand. And if you don't playing with house money right now, is the way I kind of think of it. Maybe that's the right way or not, but you have two different choices, and one of them you can really take advantage of some opportunity to help people.
Goes a long way. It's being a good human being.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen this, but I have seen it, taking walks around the neighborhood or going through a drive-through at a restaurant, or just watching social media. People seem to be nicer to each other right now in many ways.
Yeah.
I think we realize, we're all in this together, and hey, how can I help you? What do you need that you can't get? Maybe I can help you. And that's just it's a nice life view, and it's a nice communicated message.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing that too, which is honestly, it's refreshing.
It is. Kind of gives you more faith in the human race, doesn't it?
Exactly. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's the type of stuff that comes from this type of these things. But to hop on this, I know you're busy and you got a lot of people you're helping out with right now. But I think you have provided just a lot of great stuff. And so I'm excited for the future of everybody, to be quite honest. And I think there's a lot more positive things that are going to come from this. And you shed the light on a lot, someone who's been through as much as you have and continue to fight and have the positive look you've got right now, I think should speak to everybody and know that you just got to get through it with a smile on your face, help out, and good things will come.
They will come.
Well, awesome. Well, everybody stay healthy and safe, Al, specifically you and your family as well.
Thank you,
And
man. And
look forward to whenever we can shake hands again.
Let's do that. That'd be great.
Sounds good, man. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
man. All right. Take care.